Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome back to another video. So today we are in the Great League, the Open Great League. So all three leagues are going to be available beginning tomorrow, Friday. So it's going to be Great, Ultra, and Master League. You can play whichever one you prefer. I do like when all three leagues are going to be available. I feel like the most common probably going to be the Great League. I personally like the Ultra League. I like all three leagues, to be honest. It really depends. Master League I like. It's just, it's really inaccessible. That's the only reason I don't like it. But other than that, I do like that. But I'm getting off topic. Let's go ahead and jump into it and see what we got for us. So for the S rank, of course, you know the Registeel, the traditional Pokemon Registeel, of course, going to be really strong, right? With the Zap Cannon potential debuff. It's still a high chance to debuff. Focus Blast just hits like a truck. It's just hard to lock on down things. But then you have Cresselia. Of course, Cresselia is really bulky. Annihilate, the best counter user, definitely overtook Medicham for sure. The Psychic nerf to Medicham did not really do it. It was more so the Annihilate introduction as well as the Poliwrath it received counter, I guess, for Community Day, and then Icy Wind and Scald as well. So really powerful stuff there. But yeah, Annihilate really good. Gligar, Shadow Gligar, absolutely love the Pokemon. Great Pokemon. I love using Shadow Gligar ever since it got not since it got introduced, but since it received a dig update. I realized swing attack buffs. Really, really strong Pokemon. See it a lot. Shadow Feraligatr with the Shadow Claw or the regular Feraligatr, both are really strong, really good. Skarmory is really good as well with the Steel Wing, though. With the Steel Wing, I remember when they nerfed Sky Attack, and then they're like, you're never gonna see Skarmory because you rarely saw it to begin with. You saw it occasionally, right? But ever since they buffed Steel Wing and everything, Skarmory has become a menace. Lickitung always been a great safe swap with the Lick Body Slam, super tanky. Moving on to the A rank, we do have Carbink. Carbink and Bastiodon, I'll talk about both of them now. They kind of, I guess, alliance on winning that specific matchup. They have to dominate that matchup. If they lose the matchup, they lose, especially the Bastiodon. Carbink does have some outs, but yeah, Bastiodon definitely struggles. If it's going up against a counter user, for example, it's not going to have a good time, whereas Carbink at least has Moonblast. It does a play against counter. It's also taking neutrals from counter. It's not double weak to counter, for example. So Carbink a little bit more flexible than the Bastiodon, in my opinion. Then we have Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is the Umbreon of the skies. Really, really tanky Pokemon. Azumel is another tanky one. I've been seeing more and more Azumel this season. It's been around since the beginning of Go Battle League with its same moveset. Bubble was nerfed, it was unnerfed. Great Pokemon. And then we have Mantine. Okay, Mantine. You know what? They buffed every single move Mantine has, except Ice Beam. And it's still a good Pokemon. Well, it's actually a much better Pokemon, of course. But then we have Vigoroth. Vigoroth with the counter damage. I still prefer Annihilate, to be honest. I mean, Vigoroth walls. Well, no, Annihilate walls Vigoroth, of course, but Vigoroth is more so used. It's used in the Great League as well, the Open Great League, but you see it a lot in the specific themed meta cups, right? Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is a great charm user with Icy Wind. Yeah, I mean, Swift, I guess, was boosted. You do get the Swift one charm faster. And I've seen Swift maybe like once or twice, but usually you still see the summon voice Icy Wind. But yeah, I mean, definitely want the Icy Wind charm. Wigglytuff is a really good one. Okay, ever since Volt Switch was introduced on Charjabug during Community Day, it's been a great Pokemon. Really tanky, really powerful. Moving on to the B rank, we do have the Quagsire or the Shadow Quagsire. Wishcash was nerfed. It's still a great Pokemon, but Quagsire kind of, I don't want to say stole its spot, but kind of shared the spot with it. I mean, both of them are really, really strong Pokemon. Swampert, another Mud Boy. Swampert, you don't see as much as the other two, probably because it's not as tanky. Guzzlord, really fun Pokemon, really good Pokemon, really great Dragon type. I've used Guzzlord a lot, specifically for the Ultra League, but I've also used it for the Great League as well. They had time to research for Guzzlord. That's how you get it for the Great League, but I think you could also trade and have it re-roll below 1500. And then we have Empoleon as well. Yeah, Empoleon was used with Waterfall occasionally. I mean, you saw it in like themed cups, right? But now, ever since it was introduced with Steel Wing, you know how powerful Skarmory is. Empoleon is just as powerful, if not stronger. Really good Pokemon. Maybe not stronger, but it's just a really good Pokemon. With that super, super powerful Hydro Cannon charge attack. Then we have Clodsire. Clodsire is a bulky Pokemon. And yeah, I mean, that's all there is to say about it. It's super bulky. Usually you see it with Stone Edge and Earthquake. That's the moves that I personally prefer. Witch Cash, we kind of talked about that. Same with Poliwrath. Even though Scald was nerfed, Poliwrath is still a good, strong Pokemon. And then we have Dragonair. Dragonair is another strong Dragon type. I've seen Double Dragon in the Open Great League. Altaria. Altaria is bulky. That's what helps out Altaria, I feel like. Moving on to the other options. Medicham. Medicham I still see once in a while. It's very rare, I will be honest. Annihilate is better, in my opinion. Although it is funny because I did get KO'd with my Annihilate from a Psychic Medicham. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, Annihilate is better than Medicham. I think Poliwrath is better. That's why Medicham took a sidestep, you know. But it's still not terrible. It's still bulky. It still has a counter, which is a strong move. And then we have that Gallade, Psycho Cut, Leaf Blade, Close Combat. Psycho Cut giving it fast time to get to those moves. I mean, it gets to the moves so fast. Galarian Stunfisk, another Pokemon that had both of its charge attacks nerfed. Honestly, they'll probably unnerf them at some point. Maybe Rock Slide they could unnerf. I mean, they've done that so many times. Look at Focus Blast with Registeel, right? I mean, they've nerfed that, they've unnerfed it, they've nerfed Bubble, they've unnerfed that. They could do it again with Rock Slide and help out Galarian Stunfisk a little bit more because it is a good Pokemon, and I've loved using this, but you really can't use it nowadays. Tentacruel or Shadow Tentacruel, I do love using Shadow Tentacruel in the Open Great League. Then we have Pelipper. Mantine, I would say it's definitely better at this point in time. Pelipper I used to like a lot, but because of all the buffs Mantine has received, and because of it's so tanky, whereas Pelipper is not, I just like the Mantine. Superior, Grass type, if you want to consider a Grass type. Probably one of the best Grass types. Unless maybe we want to count Shadow Victreebel with everyone's favorite team, Bastiodon, Victreebel. Wigglytuff, right? That's still a good one. But Venusaur is also pretty good. I think the first trainer to hit Legend this season did run Venusaur. So, yeah, another one to keep in mind. Skeledirge. Skeledirge is a strong Incinerate user. I see it more in the Ultra League, but it's also really strong in the Great League as well. Incinerate is just a powerful move. Even if, or not even, but when this gets Blast Burn, I feel like you're still going to see the Summoning Voice and Shadow Ball for the coverage, just because Incinerate does so much damage, right? Gudra did get Thunder Punch. It also has Aqua Tail and Dragon Breath, of course. So Thunder Punch is the Community Day move, and in the Great League, that is the moveset I do like. In the Ultra League, Draco Meteor, I do think is probably preferred over maybe Aqua Tail, but in the Great League, I do like those faster charging moves. And then we have Lantern. Yes, Spark was nerfed. I've seen Water Gun Lantern. I've also seen Spark Lantern still. It's not terrible. It was slightly nerfed, but it does affect it. Trevenant was buffed, actually. Seed-Bomb doing a little bit more damage, and it is noticeable. You know, it is noticeable. And then we have Hakamo-o. I've liked using this one in the past. And Dewgong. Dewgong, I think, is a really, really good Pokemon, actually. To be honest, I feel like it might be a little bit underrated. We do see it quite often, but still, we're going to go ahead and move on to the solid team options. First team is going to be a team my friend Jason2890 created. Annihilate, Dewgong, Bastiodon. Obviously, the backline struggles to fighting types. You lure out the Poliwrath or the Annihilate with the Dewgong, and then the Bastiodon hopefully doesn't have to see any of those. But yeah, again, it's a team that kind of wants alignment for sure, right? Does struggle to Annihilate because even in the mirror match, Annihilate versus Annihilate, it could go either way. Do you bait? Do you shield? Are they going to Shadow Ball, Night Slash? You get the point. The next team is going to be Annihilate, Gligar or Shadow Gligar. I like the Shadow one, or Feraligatr, or the Shadow Feraligatr. Whichever ones you have, you could go with. I think Feraligatr is a great safe swap. I love safe swapping Shadow Feraligatr. Especially with the nerf to Poliwrath, I feel like you see that less. Obviously, Poliwrath is a good wall to Feraligatr because it does resist all the charge attacks, no matter what charge attacks you're going with. Crunch, Hydro Cannon, Ice Beam. But I feel like in the Open Great League, you're going to see more Annihilate compared to Poliwrath. You did before, probably, but especially now. And then the next team is going to be Dragonair, Shadow Quagsire, and Skarmory, or Shadow Dragonair as well. You could go with Wishcash or Swampert as another Mudboy if you choose to, or another Dragon type if you want to go with Gudra. That is an option. Another team we do have Cresselia, Registeel, Feraligatr. Now, if you're not running Future Sight, if you see a Fire type like Skeledirge or Talonflame in the lead, it's going to be tough. So you probably want to go Future Sight on this Cresselia. I would say. And then I think you're looking good because then you could stay in against like the Skeledirge, for example, and go for Future Sight. Next up, we have Scummy Double Mud Boys with Quagsire and Wishcash. Obviously, Swampert could replace one of them, but I really like these two. Even with the nerf to Scald, Wishcash or Shadow Wishcash is still really, really strong. And then the final team I've done really well with is going to be Shadow Wishcash, Shadow Tentacruel, and Scummy. I actually ran triple Shadow, so I ran Shadow Scummy because I have a rank 4 Shadow. But the one I would say you definitely do want the Shadow version of is going to be the Tentacle because the Poison Jabs and Acid Sprays are definitely adding up. You could go with the regular Wishcash if you want to, but because I have a rank 2, I always lose CMP to opposing Wishcash. That was an issue last season, but because Wishcash is not as common now, not really much of an issue. The backline doesn't like electric types, right? Obviously, you're going to struggle to that. But I've still beat Lantern, for example, with Tentacruel. I've still beat, a Brave Bird, a Charger Bug, right? So, you can still beat them. The backline doesn't also like Mud Boys, so that's going to be an issue. But the team has been working well for me last season and this season as well. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.